Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Randy from Salon, and I'm excited to talk to you today about one of the questions we get asked the most often. And that question is, why is it so expensive to go from dark to light? And why is it so expensive to go from dark to blue, or to one of the other vivid colors, or even a pastel or silver? So we're going to walk you through the process and what it takes in order to go to those colors, and that way you'll see why we recommend that you come in for a consultation before we even schedule one of those services, and why it is that those take more time and cost more money. We'll be talking through several mannequin heads today that help to illustrate this point so that you'll be able to get the picture of what it is that we're talking about. So you can see her hair is quite dark, and when you start out that dark, vivid colors don't show up on the hair. You can't see them. So to prove that, what we did is we took this dark head of hair and we colored a section blue. It's on the other side. Are you ready for the reveal? Whoa! Nothing, right? So I know you can't see it because I can't see it and I'm standing right next to her. There's no visible difference. I promise you, we used a really bright blue, and when we talk about some other mannequins, you'll see the exact same blue applied on their hair. But you can see in this one, there's no visible change even though we used a bright blue. We created a triangle section and took it blue. It's just that the hair is too dark for it to be noticeable. So this mannequin is a little bit lighter. You may not even be able to tell because it is subtle. It's just the difference between dark brown and black. The last one was black, this one is dark brown. Now, we did the same thing, adding a triangle, and you'll notice it's still not visible. You can't see it at all. Now, this mannequin has been lightened. We lightened her up from being dark brown or black, and the goal is to get her just a little bit lighter so that you could see each step of the way as we move up. When we turn to the other side, if you look real carefully, what you'll notice is toward the back of her hair is a little bit warmer. It's showing up a little bit red. And then this section here is where we built in the blue. You don't see it as blue, it just looks a little bit darker. But at least now we're starting to see a little bit of an end result. So those are the dark mannequins. We'll move from there into the medium mannequins. On this one, we're starting to see more red-orange. It's still brown, but it has more red-orange. That's because as we lighten hair, it goes through a whole bunch of ugly stages before it gets to a beautiful stage. You can see the end result of that blue starting to come in. It doesn't look blue, it just looks something. It's a little bit weird. It's kind of grayish with a little bit of a greeny edge, but it's not a pretty blue, that's for sure. Now take a look at this one. You'll notice she's getting a lot more red-orange. There's still some brown there, but there's a lot of red-orange. Now, once we get to this lightness, once again, we're lightening the hair up. These are the colors that happen naturally as we go lighter, that we're really able to see that blue. It doesn't look blue, it doesn't look pretty, but we can definitely see it. It's noticeable as a real gray section, but gray wasn't our goal. Blue was. I wonder how light we're going to have to get before we see the blue. Now, one of the challenges that you're going to notice is as we go lighter, the hair sometimes starts to go more spotty. That depends on your hair history. It depends on what your hair has been through. So the more times you've colored your hair, or the darker it is, the tougher it's going to be for us to lighten it up to create that blonde or the silver or the vivid tone that you wanted to achieve. It's all about how many times your hair has been colored, how long or short it is, and how many big color changes you've been through. Can your hair handle it? Is it healthy enough? So her hair is still healthy, but you'll notice that it's a little bit spotty through here. You've got areas that are lighter, you've got areas that are darker, some areas that are more red-orange, and some areas that still feel a little bit more brown. But it's a lot more vibrant. We're seeing a lot more red-orange now. Now watch. When we check out the other side, I think that may be the ugliest blue we've seen so far. It's not the blue's fault, it's the hair that we're putting on. If you put the same exact hair color on everyone in the whole US, you'd have a slightly different color on everyone. No two people are going to take it exactly the same. It's one of the reasons I love my job. It just makes it so much more interesting. So those are the medium-haired mannequins. Now we'll take a look at the light mannequins. Now we've moved from the mannequin that was red-orange into this mannequin that's a real orange with a capital O. We've lost all of the brown, we're getting into a bright orange color. Once again, it's not a pretty color when our goal is blonde, but it is one of the stepping stones as we move our way up to blonde. So this is why color takes a long time when we're doing a big change. It has to go through all of these phases. So here's orange. Let's take a look at what the other side looks like. It's blue. We finally have blue. Some areas look okay, but you'll notice that it's very dusty. It's a dirty looking blue. So after orange, we have yellow orange. And yellow orange is another one of those stages that happens as we take your hair from dark into blonde. Now we finally reached a point where we're at a true blue, but it's still a little bit dirtier version. We still need to go lighter before we get the end result that we actually want. This mannequin is now lightened up to where she is a blonde. It's a yellow blonde, but it's a blonde. So you can see this is where we finally get the vibrancy, and it took us a lot of steps before we got here. Now, there is one step that could make an even prettier blue, and that is if the hair wasn't so yellow. So let's take a look at that. Now we're with our final mannequin, and you'll notice this one is different than the others. How is it different? Well, it's not blow dried for one. We didn't style her hair because we wanted to show you something about this. Sometimes when the hair has been through a lot and we're trying to get it real light, we hit a point where we need to stop. So on her hair, we lightened it, and after lightening, we got it to a real strong orange, just like that earlier mannequin that we showed to you. After that, we lightened again, and then it was yellow orange. So it needed to be lightened again, but her hair was starting to get weak. That's when we need to stop. We went ahead and lightened it one more time so that we could show you the end result. As we combed through, some hair was coming out in the brush. Now her hair's still attached, her hair's still okay, and for some people maybe that's acceptable, but our goal as the stylist is to make sure the hair stays healthy. The hair got to a point where it's lost its elasticity. It's now just starting to break. And once the hair starts to break like that, we have to really be careful and baby the hair to get it back to even being okay. Now there are things that we can do throughout the process to keep your hair healthy. You can be conditioning your hair at home, making sure that you're using the right treatments will help make sure your hair has good enough health to be able to go all the way to that lighter blonde. Now pH bonder is something we can add into your hair color, and what it does is it keeps your hair healthy. This is an additional charge because it's an additional service and does take a little bit more time. Now other things to consider, some hair can't go blonde the first time. Sometimes this may need to be a long-term goal rather than a short-term goal. So maybe for today we take a small section, and then next time we add another section to it, and we work in fun blocks of color. Another idea would be to lighten all of your hair a little bit, and then next time lighten it a little bit more so that we're slowly working our way toward that goal. So to recap and review, remember, in order to go from dark to light, your hair has to go through a lot of different stages along the way. Some of those stages aren't pretty, but they take some time. We get through it, and then you end up with that beautiful blonde you want. If you want a cool toned vivid, you have to go this light. And the blonder it is, the more vibrant your end result will be. So just keep in mind, this is a process. It takes multiple applications, multiple times. Sometimes all that can happen in a day, sometimes it can't. So you may be in for a 6 to 8 hour appointment if we're taking your hair from dark into one of these vivid tones, or into a pastel, or into a silver, or into a platinum. For a darker blonde, those don't take as much time. We can achieve a darker blonde, or a strawberry blonde, or caramel without having to go quite as light. So depending on how light you want to go, what type of tone you want your hair to be when we get there, and the history of your hair, it may take a lot of time. That's why we recommend you come in for a thorough consultation with your stylist before scheduling the appointment, so we know how much time it's going to take, and we can schedule the amount of time that's right for you, and you'll know what to expect when it comes to timing and price. I'm Randy from Cake Hair Salon. Thank you so much for joining us. If you learned something from this video, if you enjoyed it, please make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Please leave comments down below if you have any questions. We are answering clients' questions. That's our goal. So your question could be featured on an upcoming video. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.